Students, in the first part of the Ellingham diagram, I have told you that we are using the thermodynamic property of Gibbs free energy in order to reduce the oxides of the metals. What we are trying to do, we are interested in reducing oxides of the metals to metals. What oxides? For example, you have produced zinc oxide, you have Fe2O3, you have Cu2O, and here you can see that there are certain metals which we told you where we are using we are getting silver and mercury by direct heating, which we call as pyrometallurgy, because these metals dissociate at lower temperature. Their dissociation temperature is low, so as you can see, their values of delta G is becoming negative, is becoming positive. This is a zero value. This is a zero value of delta G0. So when it becomes positive, this is unstable. It will dissociate above this temperature. And here you can say that this mercury oxide is going to dissociate at this temperature. So these temperatures are around 600 to 700 Kelvin. So they are lower temperatures, and we can easily heat them and dissociate them. But for other metal oxides, you have seen we will need very high temperature for direct dissociation. Therefore, it is not possible. We cannot set up such high temperatures, and metals can melt, and they are changing their states also, as you have seen, from solid to liquid to gas. So we have explained to you. Now for this, what type of reducing agents we are going to use and why? See, because these oxides have negative values of the delta G0 formation, but we want to dissociate them. We want to dissociate the metal oxides. What we are doing, we have metal oxides and we are dissociating them into metal plus oxygen. So we want to remove the oxygen from the metal oxides. This metal oxide, whatever is it, supposing this is my metal oxide, and I want to remove this oxygen. And direct heating needs very high temperature, which is not possible. So we need some reducing agent, which I am saying carbon monoxide. Coke is a very good reducing agent. Carbon is a very good reducing agent and is also very cheap and easily available. So this financially, economically, it is the best if possible. So what we will do, if we need very high temperature, we will add a reducing agent. These reducing agents like carbon, they have a strong affinity for oxygen. Carbon has a strong affinity for oxygen. So it will snatch oxygen from the metal oxide, and the result is carbon can form carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. Similarly, carbon monoxide can also act as a reducing agent. It can also snatch oxygen. But what is the temperature at which this process will happen? That is the point. And second thing is that which is going to be a better reducing agent, carbon or carbon monoxide. This information is available in the Ellingham diagram. And for example, what we are saying, the basic thing is that the delta G should be negative for any reaction to take place. I am saying that the basic fundamental we said is delta G should be negative. More negative delta G0 value means that oxide is more stable. And less negative delta Z0 means oxide is less stable. That's what we are saying. So as I am going higher, these oxides are becoming less stable. Therefore those elements which are lying lower are better reducing agents. They are better reducing agents because their value is more negative, so their oxide is more stable. Their oxides are more stable. So what they can do, their oxides are more stable. So for example, magnesium is more active. Similarly, as you can see here, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, copper, iron, copper. According to this series, the order looks like this. Magnesium is more active than aluminium. Aluminium is more active than zinc because the oxide of the magnesium is more stable. This is more stable. So what it can do, if it is more stable, then magnesium can react with the oxide of aluminium. It can react with the oxide of zinc. It can react with the oxide of iron. It can react with the oxide of copper and snatch the oxygen. And snatch the oxygen because magnesium oxide is more stable than Al2O3. What I am saying that MgO is more stable than Al2O3. More stable. So what it will do? If I add magnesium in Al2O3, magnesium will take or snatch the oxygen from Al2O3. Therefore, these elements which are lower, they will be able to reduce all the elements which are above them. In principle, we are saying. Theoretically, it is quite clear. But at what temperature, whether it will be reaction will be kinetically slow or fast, this information is not provided by the Ellingham diagram. The rates of the reaction are not provided by the Ellingham diagram. But Ellingham diagram has been drawn for oxides. It can be drawn for sulfides and halides also, which is not of our interest in this lecture, because he could draw the delta zero values for sulfides and halides also, which is of great help in the engineering and metallurgical extraction of elements and many other areas. So here the important points which we said is that there is a sudden increase in slope. For example, for this magnesium, you can see 22 MgO at 1363 Kelvin. There is a sharp rise in the slope. So what has happened? The magnesium, what is happening? Magnesium can change its state from solid to liquid, liquid to gas. So what is happening? These metals change their state. There is a either they are melting or they are going from liquid to the vapor or the gas state. Similarly, you can see the zinc. Zinc is at what is happening to the zinc at 1180 Kelvin. So this reaction which we have shown through ZnO. So at 1100 Kelvin, zinc solid is converted into zinc gas. Zinc form vapors. Zinc, because zinc has a low boiling point. Low boiling point. And that is why the zinc can be distilled. Zinc can be distilled because its boiling point is low. So when the change in state takes place, there is a sharp rise in the slope also, because we have told you that the formula which we use is delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. And this is the equation of a straight line. We said, student, that this our y is equal to, this is our intercept C. Delta H is always negative because this is a combustion reactions, but this delta S is negative. So what is the result of negative? Negative will become positive, so it becomes delta ST. So with increase in temperature, slope rises, and if there is a more decrease in entropy, there will be a bigger increase in the slope. That is why we see that. The sudden and sharp rise in slope. This question has been asked. That's why I am taking more time on this. So we have understood the basic thing that one more interesting thing here is that you have seen this graph. This graph is given in any book. You can take NCERT book and and study this more clearly, because I have tried my best to give a part of that. It is not possible for me to draw the complete graph. In the NCERT book, you have a complete graph, or in any other book, you will be able to get exact values of the delta G's also. Here you see that I am saying carbon monoxide can be used as reducing agents. When carbon is used as a reducing agent, this is known as smelting. What we call this as smelting. Because carbon can easily snatch oxygen and form carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. And this is a gas, so the reaction is very fast and spontaneous. It will immediately snatch oxygen from the oxides of the metals. Therefore, and also a lot of this coke is available in large amounts. It costs less, so we can use it. But what temperatures will be required for which metal, we will see that. Now here you see that there are three interesting things. One is that what is happening? There are three possibilities. carbon solid plus oxygen gas gives CO2. See, carbon plus. Now if I have to make a graph of this, you will see that here the delta S, that is delta S entropy of products minus entropy of reactants. How many moles? Gaseous products mole 1. 1 mole of gas is produced, 1 mole of gas is here. So 1 minus 1, 0. So delta Ng, I am saying that change in gaseous moles of the product is 0. So there is no change in entropy. That means delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. This term becomes 0. So this delta G becomes equal to delta H. So there is no change. There is no change in value of delta G0 with the temperature, as I have shown in this straight line. This is delta G0 versus for which one? C plus O2. This is my C plus O2 gives C. This is a gas. This is gas. This is solid. So here you get a straight curve, as I have shown here. Now what is happening in the second case? If I take carbon, second case I am saying if I have 2C, this is my solid, plus O2 and it produces carbon monoxide. Here what is happening, students? This is 1 mole gas and this is 2 moles of gas. So here what is the result of this? Delta S is becoming positive. The entropy of product is more than entropy of reactant because 2 moles of gas is produced, 1 mole of gas was the reactant. So here what happens that this term is not becoming positive, and here therefore what happens, delta S is positive, therefore minus S delta T, minus S T. So the slope is negative, students. Slope is negative. So what is happening? You can see this is a story. So here for this 2C solid plus O2 gas, it gives 2CO gas. So the slope is negative in this case. There is another one which we have shown, carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide. Let us see what will happen to that. Third reaction possibility is if I have carbon monoxide as a reducing agent, then what is happening? Carbon monoxide is a gas, oxygen is a gas, and you are getting 2CO2 as a gas. So in this, what will happen, students? Here, this is my carbon monoxide and oxygen gas. Here these are 2 moles of gas, and here we have 2 plus 1, 3 moles of gas. So delta S is negative. Entropy of product minus entropy of reactant is negative here, students. So if this value is negative, then the slope will be positive. This will show this type of the graph. So you can see that there are 3 types of the curves which we have shown. This is 2CO plus O2, and this is giving me 2CO2. This is the gas, this is gas, this is also gas. So carbon monoxide also acts as a reducing agent, carbon also acts as a reducing agent. So we have to see in which case which will be more effective as a reducing agent. As you can see that this is a temperature, crossover temperature here, 1073 Kelvin, 1073 Kelvin. So below this temperature, I can say that now below 1073 Kelvin, this carbon monoxide is better reducing agent. Because this line is below this value, it has a lower value of delta G, it has more negative delta G. Above 1073 Kelvin, what is happening? The carbon C, coke, is better reducing. Because this value, this has come down. Now this is lower and this has gone up. So you can see that this is a temperature. Below this temperature, CO better, and above this temperature, carbon better. as a reducing agent. So this is important when we will discuss the extraction of different metals like iron oxides and copper and zinc. So this is a very important thing, that first of all, why this graph went lower in this case, because it depends on the change in entropy of the products and the reactants. So there are three possibilities which we have shown. These are also shown in the Ellingham diagram in your NCERT book. Kindly get the exact values. Here I have only shown you why the graph is straight, negative slope, positive slope, because equation of straight lines has been used. Whether there is an increase in entropy or decrease in entropy, it will depend on this. Now, for example, if I want to do the extraction of iron from oxides of iron, which are Fe2O3, Fe3O4 in the blast furnace. In the blast furnace, you see there are different temperature range. As you will see in the book, temperatures are changing in the blast furnace, and then whether CO can act as a reducing agent or CO2. For example, here I have shown iron is present here. This is my iron. This is the graph of iron. Iron line is going like this. This is my iron. What is that? 2Fe plus O2 gives 2Fe. So this is the crossover point for iron, students. This is my iron. These are the delta G values which are given here exactly. Now you can see that below 1073 Kelvin, if I want to reduce iron oxide, below 1073, this is lower. Then CO is better. This will act as a reducing agent. And you will get iron and CO2. So this is below 1073 Kelvin for the reduction of iron by using Fe3O4, Fe2O3 ores in the blast furnace. You will see there is a temperature range below 1073. Carbon monoxide acts as a reducing agent. This question has been asked in the exam, student. And above 1073 Kelvin, you find this is lower. Carbon acts as a reducing agent. So above 1073, this is a better reducing agent because the value of this delta G is more negative. It is lower. So one which is lower is able to reduce the one line which is above it, as we have said in the Ellingham diagram. So what is happening then? Above this temperature, you have Fe and carbon, then Fe plus CO. So you see the story. When this Ellingham diagram is of great help when we extract metals from their oxides, because simple rule is that, remember the question will be there, the one which is lying lower will be able to reduce the one which is above it. The elements which are lower will be able to reduce the elements above them. So this we have shown, and now see, I am talking of let me see how Ellingham diagram is helpful for the extraction of copper from Cu2O. Where is copper? You can see, students, copper is lying at the top. Copper is at top of the diagram, and as you go top, the value of delta G becomes less negative. So those which are below this copper will be able to reduce this. You can easily see that here what can reduce copper, this, and the temperature at which they can reduce copper is very easily can be seen here. Both carbon and carbon monoxide can be used as a reducing agent, and therefore you can see this is my carbon. Therefore what will do, zinc oxide plus carbon, I can use this as a reducing agent. So we can use coke or carbon as reducing agent easily. This is a case. This is copper, not zinc, copper. I am saying Cu2. So what is happening? You are getting copper. So copper is lying above. Therefore, easily it can be reduced by coke or carbon, and it doesn't need very high temperatures. This doesn't need very high temperature in this case also, because the carbon monoxide, all these are lying below the copper. And you earlier already seen that those which are on the top, they will dissociate simply on heating, like mercuric oxide, HgO, Ag2O, gold oxides and platinum oxides, they dissociate easily. So here carbon is being used easily in the case of copper. Let me see for zinc. In the extraction of zinc from zinc oxide, where is zinc? Zinc is at much lower. You can see ZnO is lower in graph, in our graph of aluminum diagram. And if I want to reduce zinc oxide, you can see that there is also the zinc has become the zinc has been converted from solid to liquid to gas at this point, 1180 K. And you can say the line of the zinc which is cutting at 1270 K. You can see that carbon is lower than zinc. So above 1270, carbon is lower than ZnO. Therefore, carbon can be used as a reducing agent, but it will need higher temperature. How much? Greater than 1270. So it needs more temperature than we needed for copper, than for reduction of copper oxide. So the zinc is itself a reducing agent, you know that, because it is lying lower. Therefore, what we have told you, we can also reduce zinc by using coke. So the result is Zn plus CO, but the temperature is higher. How much? As you can see, this temperature is more than 1270 Kelvin. So at higher temperature, zinc oxide can be reduced by carbon. Reduction by carbon is known as smelting process. This is a very common process, but you can see students at different points, different temperatures are required, and this information is provided by the aluminum diagram. One more interesting thing, students, which I want to say, magnesium is the most active here. It will be able to reduce all those which are above it, as you can see. But when I discuss, you have magnesium oxide and Al2O3. You see there is a crossover point at 1623 Kelvin. So below 1623 Kelvin, below this temperature, magnesium oxide is more stable than Al2O3, because this has a more negative delta G. This value of this is more negative as it is lying at this